Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Live Trading Room's daily Forex analysis. Today is Monday, the 22nd of January, and it's 30 minutes past 10 in the morning. Let's see how the Forex market is behaving through the index grid of our best and worst dashboard. The British pound is in first position, gaining 1.33%, followed by the New Zealand dollar, which is gaining 1.31% on its currency basket. The Swiss franc is ahead by 0.73%, the Australian dollar is gaining 0.43%, and the euro is just above parity, gaining 0.16%. The Canadian dollar is losing 0.54%, the yen is down by 1.29%, and the US dollar is down by 2.17% on its currency basket. The power strength gives us the yen 100% short and the New Zealand dollar 100% long. We have high percentages on the British pound and the euro also, respectively 85% long and 85% short. The best trade so far in the Forex market are Kiwi US dollar gaining 0.45% and the cable gaining 0.42%. Now let's go to the charts to analyze the majors. Aussie US dollar is moving in a bullish tendency just above the entry level of the bullish zone of the target geometry at 0.80. The market is above all the moving averages of the EMA dashboard, and we have a confluent price action up to the multi-day level with a breakout of the previous highs on H1, H4, and the monthly. We have a percentage confluence up to the yearly level and an RSI above 50 on every time frame, with a 71% long Australian dollar against a 71% short US dollar. If the market remains about 0.80, we may have a continuation to the upside. The euro dollar is moving in a bearish tendency after the gap up at the opening of the market. We're inside the bearish zone of the target geometry, and the market just corrected up from the daily low marked at 122.14, just below target number 4. Price action is turning bearish again, but the market is still gaining 0.24%, and it preserves a bullish outlook, moving above all the moving averages of the EMA dashboard and presenting a percentage confluence up to the yearly level. The RSI is still above 50 on every time frame except M1. Should the market remain below 122.58, we may have a continuation of the bearish move. The cable is moving in a slight bullish tendency after a daily low marked at 138.56. We're just below the entry level of the bullish zone of the target geometry at 1.3907. The market has a bullish outlook, moving above all the moving averages of the EMA dashboard, and we have a breakout of the previous highs on H4 and the monthly. The pair is gaining 0.37% up to now, and there's a percentage confluence up to the yearly level. We have an RSI above 50 on every time frame except M1, so with an 85% long British pound against a 71% short US dollar above 139.07, we may have a continuation to the upside. Kiwi US dollar is moving in a bullish tendency, correcting down from the daily high marked at 0.7309. The market is moving above all the moving averages of the EMA dashboard, and we have a breakout of the previous highs on H1, H4, and the monthly. The pair is gaining 0.43%, and we have a percentage confluence up to the yearly level. The RSI is above 50 on every time frame except M1, so with a confluent New Zealand dollar against a 57% short US dollar, we may have a continuation of the bullish move. USDCAD presents a daily doji. The market is moving sideways inside the no trade zone of the target geometry in a slight bearish tendency after the opening gap down. The market is losing 0.18%, and we have a percentage confluence up to the yearly level. The market is below all the moving averages of the EMA dashboard except for the weekly. Right now we have a bullish price action at a scalping level, but we have a breakout of the previous lows from H4 to the monthly. Both currencies are weak on their respective currency baskets, so it's possible we're going to have a limited daily range. Although we can monitor two levels. Below 124.59, we may have a continuation of the descent. Above 124.91, we should change attitude. US dollar Swiss franc gap down at the opening, marked a high above target number 1 of the target geometry at 0.9635, and now it's moving in a bearish tendency below the opening, losing 0.34%. We have a bearish price action and a breakout of the previous lows on H4 and the monthly. The market is moving below all the moving averages of the EMA dashboard, and we have an RSI below 50 on every time frame. So with a 57% long Swiss franc against a 71% short US dollar, if the market breaks 0.9593, we may have a continuation to the downside. Let's close the analysis with US dollar yen, which gapped down at the opening of the market and then marked an intraday high just below target number 4 of the target geometry at 110.91. The price action is now bearish at a scalping and intraday level. We have a breakout of the previous lows on M5, H1, H4, and the monthly. We have a percentage confluence up to the yearly level, and the market is losing 0.12%. We're still below all the moving averages of the EMA dashboard, and we have an RSI below 50 on every time frame. So should the market descend below the daily opening, we may have a continuation to the downside. On the other hand, should the market remain above 110.62, the market could go back toward the daily high. That's all for today's analysis. Thank you for your attention. Good day and good trading from Live Trading Room Trading Community.